to this now. It's high time that COSATU and its affiliates go back to basics of serving their members, some of whom feel neglected, while the leaders focus on ANC internal politics. And that's a warning from columnist and commentator, as well as former Gauteng Premier Mbhazima Shilowa. He says former President Jacob Zuma appears to be targeting the same areas he did in the elections, especially when it comes to organized labor. Let's now chat to him. He joins us live now. Thank you so much, Mr. Shilowa, for your time. You say that danger is lurking should trade unions not in any case, possibly who are not aware, possibly that danger is lurking, may need to do as much of work as possible to try and regain lost ground, especially when you look at the formation of this new Teachers and Education Workers Union of South Africa, which has openly affiliated itself to the MK party. Tell us more.
Yes, good afternoon. I am saying that from where I sit, it's important that COSATU takes seriously the current moves by Zuma's MKP to form a trade union, first in the teachers' sections, especially around Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and KwaZulu-Natal, but also that they need to be vigilant, because he may also try to move into other areas. And it's important that not only is this work done by the trade unions, but also the federation itself. And in my view, it would be helpful if the federation was to devise a strategy of how to do this. But to do so, they will also need to focus more on shop floor issues instead of palace politics of the ANC.
Is this a federation that is able to do so? Does it have capacity right now, given the internal dynamics that we've also seen, and what you also paint in your opinion piece around the politics, especially within the ANC and the alliance?
I think it's possible. I think there is enough capacity in the unions and in the federation. It's just a matter of strategizing. But if they drop the ball, it can also be catastrophic, the same way that the ANC dropped the ball in the previous elections and got punished for it. In this instance, I think SATU and other unions stand a better chance, because for members to move out of these organized unions, they have to forfeit some of the benefits that they have inside those unions. So some people will move, but I think the majority will stay. But stay not because they're getting good service, but maybe because of the benefits. And I'm arguing that while that may be so, it's important that the unions focus less on the benefits that workers get, but on the issues that concern them. Because, even though there are many teachers who are in SATU, workers who are in NEAU, and other public sector unions, as well as the private sector, there are more workers who are outside of COSATU, outside of the unions, who think it doesn't really matter whether they're in the unions or not, because they don't think the unions serve their interests, but that of the alliance. And I'm arguing they need to work hard to dispel that notion.
Given the uncertainty of the times we find ourselves in, especially in the political arena, I mean, South Africa right now even has a government of national unity. For how long can these unions, especially, let's say, SATU, for example, continue to hold on to the members, especially in light of the benefits? Because possibly the situation may change in future?
Yes, I don't think the situation will change in future. Even if it was not a government of national unity, even if the DA had won the elections or it was a DA-led coalition, I think there are worker rights that are entrenched in the Constitution, which the DA would not be able to change without a two-thirds majority. So I don't think the issue is whether or not they will lose their benefits as well as rights. The issue is whether or not workers that they represent feel that even with those benefits, do the unions represent us? And I think the fact that MK party is making moves in these three provinces must be because those of the leaders, of SATU leaders, we have now crossed over to MKP, must be feeling that the situation is ripe for them to attack COSATU, having done attacking the ANC.
So before I let you go, then, can COSATU, for example, say that it is still representing the working class and organized labor in the country? Can they comfortably say that?
They can comfortably say that, but I am not sure if whatever they say, workers take into account. If you look at the fact that in all the key industrial areas of Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, the Western Cape, those working class people have abandoned the ANC but have remained inside COSATU. It must mean while they may have confidence in COSATU, they don't have confidence in the work that COSATU is trying to do with the ANC.
Before I let you go, something else, of course, that's in the public domain relating to the MK party. I'm keen to hear your thoughts on the developments around that disciplinary hearing of former President Jacob Zuma and the Gauteng MK party members who are outside that Bears Nodier Square.
It's interesting, obviously, that you would have members of another party protesting outside another party that is trying to discipline someone who still says he's their member, but is now acting for another member. But I think for me, the real issue, I know many people have said the ANC should have acted sooner, it should have fired Zuma, but I think that decision would have been challenged in court and would drag on for a longer period. And that therefore it's important that the ANC follow its own internal process rather than come across as having prejudged the matter.
All right, an interesting one. Thank you so much for your insights this afternoon. Appreciate it. That was Mbhazima Shilowa, columnist and commentator, as well as former Gauteng Premier.